Hello. All right, I'm re-recording this. I recorded this once and it ended up being like 20 minutes long for a thoughts video that could just be summed up in like 5 minutes. And I just want to get this out. This is a thing that's been in my brain for a while now, given a lot of stuff in the TF2 community. First off, this is going to be unscripted. It's going to be a rant. It's going to be hopefully quick. All right, but here is the big big point of the video. I think Valve is about to be, or is preparing to be, letting the community do updates. Bold claim. I know. I have some key pieces of information that I've been thinking about and that have been brought up that I think lend to this being a credible idea. So indulge me if you will in this. Watch some TF2 gameplay in the back or stick me in another tab while you do some work or play something. I don't care. This is a rant. Alright, so the big things. A couple years back, we got VScript added. If you don't know what VScript is, it basically allows map makers to do a bunch of crazy shit with TF2. It's allowed for some really out there maps and game modes. It's what's behind Versus Sex and Hail and what allowed that one Halloween map where you could turn giant. It allows you to do some weird stuff with TF2's code. Already, that was a big thing a couple years back. And it slowly started making community maps really push the idea of what TF2 could do or what a TF2 map could be. Earlier this year, in 2025, we got the TF2 source code, the TF2 SDK released, meaning players can look at the source code and can submit bug fixes through GitHub. That's another big thing. And ever since it's been the case, Valve has been doing patches over the course of the past couple of months, and here or there they've sprinkled in a couple GitHub fixes or workshop fixes from people who just submitted through the workshop, which is all fine and good. Now, the big thing that I think that should be thought about and should be talked about more in the community, Project Offshore. If you don't know what Project Offshore is, it is a community workshop initiative to basically get a lot of workshop creators to make stuff under one specific theme that is like water, underwater type stuff. This isn't the first of its kind. There was the Project Mayan, there was Frontline, there's a couple of others that have existed, but typically what has happened in the past is the community will make these. Like, I'll use Project Mayan specifically as an example. The community will establish this big project, and they'll present it to Valve and be like, hey, look, we have a bunch of weapons and skins and cosmetics and maps that could go towards a big jungle-themed update right here. You don't have to do any work for it, Valve, other than just put it in the game. And Valve will not acknowledge the project itself. They did not acknowledge Project Mayan itself. However, when Jungle Inferno came out, they handpicked a lot of stuff from Mayan to add to Jungle Inferno. So in a way, it kind of lives on, but it just kind of sucks that Valve didn't even acknowledge or, reference Mayan itself at all, especially with how much work was put into it and how much people contributed to it. Sucks, but it's their game, they can do it. Now, why is Offshore different, you may ask? Well, if you hadn't noticed, Valve has actually promoted Offshore, both on the TF2 Steam page and on their actual website in the news tab. Valve has never done anything like this before. The news tab specifically has always been reserved for the competitive scene, and Valve never does these little news tabs up in Steam, at least not for Team Fortress 2. They never do it. So the fact they're doing it for a community project has me thinking, is this going to be more than just a Mayan situation? Is this going to be more than Valve just coming along and plucking specific stuff out that they want for their update? Now, you may think that's a bit of a wild claim, but look at what Offshore is claiming to be doing. Think of it like this. What if Valve, looks at Offshore, looks at all the stuff that they're going to be adding, all the stuff that they're going to be doing, and says, yep, looks good, and ships it as is. No plucking things out and renaming the update. No shunning the community, no shutting them down. What if Valve is ready to give the community a chance? I think it's been long enough since the Invasion update, coupled with Valve very slowly giving the community more control over what happens. I think there's a chance. I think there's a good chance that we could see a community update. Is Offshore going to be that big community update? Is it going to be the Invasion update too? Maybe, maybe not. I really hope it is, because I've been playtesting the new maps that they've been showing off, and it looks great. And going off of a lot of the stuff that they claim they want to do for this for their servers, I really hope this gets into the base game. But even if it's not, I am going to make the bold claim that by the end of the year, we are going to see Valve let the community do a big update. Is that update going to include new weapons, new game modes, balance changes maybe? I sure hope so, but even if it's just a case of Valve is letting the community make an update that's solely cosmetic stuff, but the community is in charge of it, I think that's a big first step. And if this works, we could see a new age for the TF2 community, allowing for Valve to just kind of backseat, let the community take over and do stuff for the game. I imagine how it work would be they'd appoint someone to be like a community head, or maybe they get someone at Valve to oversee everything. I don't think we're gonna see a timeline where Valve completely hands the reins over the community. That's never gonna happen. But I am optimistic. I am hopeful, and this is just kind of my thoughts. Oh yeah, two other points that I wanted to bring up in this video that kind of aid to this. Number one, Valve has already been letting the community take over with updates in a way when it comes to maps over the past few years. Most maps added to the game, even to the official rotation, are just community-made ones that kind of push the boundary for TF2. Look at stuff like Nuketown and Embargo. They really push some ideas there. And number two, today, on May 1st, 2025, they pushed out a patch that was like almost entirely made up of GitHub and workshop fixes. This is technically an update that's like 99% made by the community with like no involvement from Valve. Very little involvement from Valve. So, I don't know, food for thought. This is just me wanting to get it out there because I don't see anyone else really talking about it in this sense. I feel like I'm going crazy here. That's how I feel. I just feel like I'm the only one with any hope that this is going to lead anywhere. I'm probably going to eat shit in about a month when TF2 announces, oh, here's the summer update with just the random summer crate and we just picked items out of Offshore. But again, that small voice inside tells me, why would they promote Offshore if they're just going to do that again? What would they gain? You know? So I just wanted to put this together. I promise I got real videos in the works. I hope you had a good time. I hope you liked this little rant. I hope you agree with me. Maybe you don't. Maybe talk in the comments if you think Valve is going to let this happen. What are your thoughts? You know, what if the Offshore update is the first like big official community update since Invasion? You know, what could that mean for the community? Could we see Frontline? Could we see Project Mayan come back? Maybe Invasion 2? Who knows? Feel free to talk about it in the comments. I'm going to go back to working on big boy videos now. I just wanted to get this out, and thank you for listening.